I think you're totally right. Is that we're conditioned to, especially we're really working off an antiquated education system, which really served the purpose from when it was designed, because we were just trying to fill jobs and fill factories and have a very obedient sort of society. And I don't think the opposite is better. Like if you have everyone that's being an entrepreneur, I think you have no garbage collectors, you have no nurses, you have no teachers, you have no doctors, like keeping society running. So how do you look at the idea of a balance? Whereas, like, I think you want people to be able to make things better. Sometimes you need to break certain paradigms and dogmas and things that are inherent. But some things need to be kept in place for us to have a functioning society. And so, how do you balance this idea of unlearning, but also staying within, I guess, the benefit of community? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, yeah. One of my beta readers is a war college professor, retired Marine colonel, and the first and second chapters would be different. He didn't like because he thought he likes rules. He thinks rules create structure, and structure creates foundations for society and organizations, and people can rely on them, and they can leverage that confidence and reliance to do everything else they want to do,
Right.
which is all true. And I said, well, I'm talking about intellectual, not physical. I'm not talking about going out and robbing banks and driving 200 miles an hour down the neighborhood road, not just breaking rules to break rules. I'm talking about the intellectual, the way your mind thinks about thinking, the way your mind thinks about, a different and a better way to do something. I'm not trying to, create an anti-social, anti-structure person, because
Right.
you do need all those things. As a matter of fact, once you learn how to be disruptive and think this in a disruptive manner, meaning you're breaking the mold, one of the first things you're going to have to do is you're going to have to come up with a plan to establish the new mold. You have to have some stability.
Right.
So when you break something up and you redesign it and you make it better or different, then you have to basically lock it down so that it can operate. So, thinking is thinking, and that can be free play, and it doesn't really have any consequences. If your idea doesn't work in your head, it just doesn't work. But
Right.
once you've got it in play, then it's kind of like the rules of physics. The laws of physics are applied, whether it's the physical laws of physics or the laws of physics of your industry or whatever that you're trying to do. Like you can't make a sailboat that defies Mother Nature. It's got to
Right.
somehow comply with the rules of Mother Nature. So, so it's a 1-2 step. Not everybody wants to be creative. Not everybody wants to be innovative. Not everybody wants to change the rules. Matter of fact,
Mm.
most people don't like change and don't like anything to be adjusted.
Sure.
The problem with that, from a general mindset, is if you want the world to stay static, you're living in a bubble, because the universe is going to change
Right.
everything, and you don't have anything to do with it. As I'm sitting here, I have nothing to do with the fact that all around me, if I have 20 neighbors, any one of them could move, or they could buy the house next to them and turn it into some weird kind of place. I can't
Right.
control that. I don't know whether or not they're going to do work on the street, and now I can't go to work the same way. Now I got to go a completely different way. It's a pain in the butt. I have no idea that's happening, but when it happens, I have to live with that reality. Well,
Right.
thinking a much more complex framework, if your competitors are working day and night to beat you, and you're not thinking that you have any competitors, one day you're going to wake up and half your business is gone. And you're going to, well,
Right.
what happened? Well, what happened was you were very comfortable. You were in stasis. You didn't really care about changing, nor did you even care about paying attention to whether anybody else was changing and how that would affect you. So at a minimum, if you don't want to be creative and innovative to make change, be creative and innovative to anticipate change.
Okay. I really like that idea that you collaborated with that war professor, as in, like, the opportunity for creativity and dynamism can ultimately is born from a foundation of rules and structure.